Exactly as reported. A Degree 6 revolt, population equivalent to the Duros uprising on Zilior. Subjects occupy a moderate radius of jungle. Good. Good. Welcome, apprentice. Your timing couldn't be better. I am Lord Drow. When the Empire encounters resistance on its conquered worlds, they call me. I'm here to end the slave uprising on Drummond Cass.
I wasn't aware there was a slave revolt going on.
Very soon there won't be. You can assist me in ending it. The situation is this. A Sith Lord was constructing a colossal statue of himself in the jungle. His slaves revolted and armed themselves. The Colossus remains unfinished, and well-armed slaves now control the jungle. An embarrassment for the Empire, but an opportunity for me.
What can these renegade slaves possibly provide you?
Test subjects, of course. A means of perfecting my techniques. I'm testing a toxic weapon, a poison called Quell. Its victims experience a prolonged state of agonizing pain before finally dying. The victims' allies are so horrified by Quell's effects, they lose their wills to resist. At least that's what I intend to prove.
What a disturbing experiment. You're quite the sadist, Lord Drow.
Please, there's no need for flattery. I need someone to introduce a controlled amount of Quell into the slaves' water supply, so that I can determine the proper dosage. The work is dangerous, there will be armed slaves everywhere, but your success will be well rewarded. What do you say?
I prefer to deal death more directly to my opponents.
My methods extend well beyond the lightsaber's reach, my friend. Expand your horizons. My assistant, Sergeant Slerin, will recommend the correct dosage of Quell and give you a supply. See him at the research tent.
If I know Lord Drow's tastes, which unfortunately I do, he sent you for the Quell toxin.
I'm helping him put down the slave revolt.
Do you truly understand what he's asked you to do? What if I told you this experiment is pointless? That past studies have shown increased suffering has no impact on the speed of surrender? This has nothing to do with accelerating the end of a rebellion. Lord Drow simply takes perverse thrill in gratuitous suffering.
I'm sure Lord Drow wouldn't appreciate these comments.
Don't get me wrong, Lord Drow is very good at what he does, but he lets his personal bents impede our efficiency. I want this assignment over with. The faster this rebellion ends, the faster I'll be reassigned to more important work. Serving Lord Drow's bloodlust has stunted my career. If not for his inefficiency, I'd be a captain by now.
Your ego is overinflated.
I know my potential, just as I know who's holding me back from achieving it. Lord Drow's dosage of Quell toxin will have slaves writhing in agony for pointless weeks, during which this area will remain volatile. I've prepared a dose that will kill the slaves efficiently, which is better for the Empire and for me. Will you deliver my dosage instead?
Let's end this revolt efficiently and kill off these renegades.
Wonderful. It's the right thing for everyone. Well, almost everyone. I'll give you a maximum dose of Quell toxin, inject it into the slave camp's water filtration systems, and see Lord Drow afterward.
some work. Brutal. Better check I still have all my parts. Brutal. Better check I still have all my parts. Better check I still have all my parts.
Commander Pritch at your service, my lord. Lord Barris informed me you'd be paying us a visit. I'm prepared to offer full assistance.
News travels fast.
Lord Barris is nothing if not efficient. Let me follow his lead and bring you up to speed. There's been much unrest in these parts recently, my lord, capped off by a violent slave revolt that has the surrounding jungles overrun with armed slaves.
Then they're not slaves anymore, are they?
I stand corrected, my lord. Former slaves. What no one knows is that Lord Barris orchestrated the insurgents to disrupt one of his rivals, and he wants his involvement kept secret. Now the slave captains who led the revolt are threatening to expose Barris's involvement unless they receive more potent weapons.
Slaves. They're never satisfied.
Having been a slave for a period of time, I'd say that's an understatement.
You'd think they know better than to blackmail a Sith Lord. Lord Barris wants you to kill enough of the blackmailing slave captains to make the others lose their resolve.
Just tell me where to go.
Slaves are scattered throughout the area, but the captains tend to congregate near the unfinished Colossus. I'll wait here for your return.
Takes guts to sit here and wait, don't you think?
Take it up with the commander. I'm sure he'd appreciate the constructive criticism.
Nah, I think I'll let him live in shame.
Hey, my lord, right? Not sure about my propers with you folks.
Seeing as how you're already killing slaves and causing a fuss, how'd you like to make a pile of credits?
I have a few moments I can spare.
So Darth Valron is on the Dark Council, and his apprentice Lord Ket wants to advance, so he starts building a giant statue to his master. But Lord Ket doesn't want his master to know, so he brings in slaves from off-world. Slaves rebel, and we get this mess.
The Slave Rebellion I'm familiar with, though I didn't know the specifics.
Here's where it gets complicated. Lord Ket wants to save face, but secretly. He calls in me and my mercs. By the time we get here, the slaves have captured some giant industrial drills, and they're getting ready to bring down the whole giant statue. Our best team goes in with explosives to blow up the drills. Slaves kill every last one. Got a pile of credits for anyone who grabs those explosives, hooks them to a giant drill, then fights off slaves until the explosives detonate.
My lord? Look at them out there. They're like animals. Hundreds of slaves with no one to command them and without a thought in their minds as to what to do with their freedom. Like I said, the slaves are animals. But we've noticed strange behavior in the pack. And my superiors want to know more. Some of the slaves are killing each other. We don't know if they're mad or hungry, desperate, or if there's a faction of slaves who've turned on the rest.
Been observing them? Give me your best guess.
I don't really know. Who can fathom the mind of a slave? We know that the killings are ritualistic. The murderous slaves come in the night, stab their foes and paint themselves in blood. If you could investigate, catch them in the act and take them down, maybe you could find a clue to their motives.
I'll return when I've discovered more.
Look for any slave who's turned on his peers. With luck, he'll lead us to answers.
Just when you thought there weren't enough big statues on this planet. If I die, I'm going to haunt you.
freak show. That drill just lit up the night. Here's the credits, as promised.
Took some work.
You're not the initiate. You are Sith. You honor us with your presence, mighty lord. Welcome to our prison.
What is this? Are you the one behind the killings?
I am Traga Unvor, leader of the Unchained. I am master of my hatred. When the other slaves broke free, I laughed. Like you, I knew their escape was a delusion, for only Sith possess true freedom.
Some elaboration is required.
I know the Sith code. Freedom comes through power, through victory. I saw a chance to prove myself. I culled weak from strong. I began to kill and to teach. I showed slaves freedom through bloodshed. Now my followers and I are the masters here. And soon, we will become Sith ourselves.
You may have potential, but are you strong in the Force?
My strength is in my fists, but the Force has guided me here. And it has guided you. Now you can spread word of us to the Empire. Your strength is great. With your approval, we shall serve. Carry our message of allegiance to your masters, and we will become the new face of the Empire. We will be champions of the dark side.
The Empire will hear your message.
As it should be. Take this datapad, my plea to the Sith Lords. For now, I am not ready to leave the Colossus. With every kill, I feel my power grow, and there are many slaves who may yet join me. But soon, we will all be ready. We will await word from the Empire.
I wish you the best.
Farewell for now. We return to the shadows.
Better check I still have all my parts.